It is 8:10 News Talk Saga 960 Raw. Mike Richards, as we very often talk to our experts. That's what I like to call them. They are experts because when you look at Dave and myself, you do not say to yourself, "These guys are experts." No, no one says this, which is why we're always thrilled when Bell Lifestyle Products come by. And of course, Joan Sarro, who was on the show last time. And this time we're going to tackle something that, and again, this isn't, this is environmental that we're talking about. So
Yeah.
the pollen, oriented or, allergies when they have, look, we know those who you can tell when it's happening. The eyes get puffy, red, and runny, and the sneezing, the whole thing. It just
Yeah.
looks awful. And so, Joan Sarro, who joins us here this morning. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning. Nice to be back.
And I'm going to say, buongiorno, bella.
Buongiorno, buongiorno.
Buongiorno. The allergy relief from Bell.
Yes.
Is this the time of year when you have allergies? Like, does it start now? Explain to us, when we talk about the environmental allergies, what exactly is happening out there?
So yes, typically what most people react to when we talk about environmental allergies, at least outside, is pollen. So different times of year, different types of pollen can cause those. I describe these reactions, but really I don't need to describe them because if you've had them, the sneezing, the itchy red eyes, the runny nose, watery eyes, congestion, dust. So it can be indoors as well. So dust, pet dander, and then fungus and mold, which can also happen sort of at the end of winter as the snow starts to melt and those things come up. So typically, from the spring into the summer, definitely this is the most appropriate time right now for our allergy relief product for sure.
Now, for those that suffer from that, is there also a geographical, because I mean, look, there's gonna be people who see this all over the country, all over the place when this goes out. And so I'll be talking to my Alberta people, and they've got a way different climate. They deal with different things, different plants, different, just environment. Does it depend on your allergy and where you live, where it can be better or worse?
Not necessarily. Actually, a lot of the same plants kind of grow, and especially the typical ones like the dandelions and grass pollen and tree pollen, that kind of thing. So I would say this is a national issue that can really affect people. Ragweed is probably a little bit more common in certain places, but dust mites, spores, that kind of thing is just common everywhere. And then of course, pet dander is a common issue as well.
Yeah, a lot of people have pets. Joan, number 24, Allergy Relief is the name of the actual Bell product. How does it work exactly? How many do you have to actually take? And what goes into recommending this formula for a client?
So I'm going to get a little bit scientific for a second, and just kind of quickly explain what happens when an allergen response initiates. So when we're affected by an allergen, the immune system, which is something we've talked about before, gets activated basically. And an allergen is also known as an antigen in science. And so antibodies bind to it like a lock and key. And basically T cells help to mitigate that reaction. So T1 and T2 cells is what we're working here. Don't want to get too technical, but just like the immune system, we want to make sure all of those things are in balance. So for a lot of us, those T cells, the T1, T2, are out of balance. So basically what Bell's Allergy Relief does, the gist is that it helps to restore that balance and provide an appropriate response to allergens. So histamine gets released. A lot of us are familiar with that term, and that can initiate, hay fever, asthma, and then in severe cases, anaphylaxis. I mean, obviously, if you have that serious of an allergy relief is not for you. You have to talk to your doctor about that. And that is often related to food allergies as well. This product is really more for environmental allergies. So within allergy relief, we have quercetin, and it's a plant-derived quercetin. It's a flavonoid that's found in many foods and plants. And this helps to ease the release of histamine. So histamine will cause those reactions like congestion, sneezing, the watery eyes. So it helps to kind of naturally work with your body to suppress the release of histamine in more of a gentle way. If you look at over-the-counter kind of pharmaceuticals or for this, that blocks histamine completely. Which can, you know, dry out your throat, dry out your respiratory system. So allergy relief is a little bit more gentle, works with your body's kind of a blend of herbs that helps to work with your body to initiate an appropriate immune response, you know, so things don't get out of control, basically.
So Joan, so it's a gentler way than, say, just buying what, a Benadryl or something like of that nature in the
Exactly.
pharmacy.
Yeah, so those block, and if you're having a serious environmental allergen reaction, those products can be helpful to quickly stop it. So sometimes those are appropriate, but if you're just kind of getting, you know, the sneezy, watery eyes on a regular basis, then if you take something like allergy relief, it'll work with your body to mitigate that severe reaction.
And isn't that really when we talk, not only to you but almost anybody who's a representative of Bell Lifestyle Products, natural health products, is we're not saying that you take these products and it eliminates whatever that ailment or issue happens to be. What we're saying is that if you use these products on a regular basis instead of just diving after pharmaceuticals when you think it's necessary, that this will keep you on a more of an even keel, and the chances of these natural products staying in your system will help alleviate a lot of these problems, not replace necessarily medical, you know, issues or where you do actually need pharmaceuticals. Because Bell isn't saying that. We're not saying that about natural health products, that it is replacing something. We're not saying
that. Exactly. Yeah, they can often work together. Obviously, if you have something that causes anaphylaxis, you're going to need an EpiPen or something like that. But yes, so it's formulated to basically address, just like a lot of our Bell formulas, all the different systems in our body that can help mitigate these reactions. So, you know, in a roundabout way, our digestion is really important to mitigating these reactions, just like everything else, right? Diet, good diet, and digestion. So assimilating those, and something like holy basil that's in this formula, which is really an herb that's used around the world. It's a popular herb in Ayurvedic medicine or Indian medicine. And so it can help relieve mucus buildup, but also helps with digestion and the body's resistance to stress. So making sure your nervous system is healthy as well. Holy basil will help with the nervous system. So when you're looking at an herbal formula, it can address all of these other issues. Lemon balm as well is in there, that helps with reducing allergy symptoms, also the nervous system. So it's kind of, when you talk about herbal medicine or natural medicine, you're kind of looking at how all of the different systems work together, not just one thing like, you know, an over-the-counter that just blocks histamine.
Right.
Can be, like I said, can be really handy if you're having a severe reaction. But if you take all of these other herbs that are in this formula together, yeah, it'll help reduce that reaction more over time and help your body kind of create its own way of responding to that over time that's just more appropriate, because it's really hard you can't really avoid these allergens, right, unless you don't go outside.
Joan, is this the kind of thing that that people that suffer from allergies will only take during allergy season, or is this something that they take throughout the year, just to almost have it as a maintenance as well?
Depends on the person. So if someone suffers from allergies is really sensitive to allergies like pet dander and mold and yeast and that kind of thing, which can happen inside, then it's something that they can take on a regular basis. But you know, you can definitely ramp it up over the this time of year when it gets more serious. And I would say probably best to take it on a regular basis at this time of year. If you know you're sensitive to allergies, you start this, you know, late winter kind of thing, and you can keep taking it into the summer. There's nothing in here that is too intense to take on a regular basis. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, see the things that we learn during these segments, because I got to be honest, for most of the rest of the show, we don't learn anything.
But you have fun.
True.
In fact, you could get dumber by continually listening to the show, except when people like yourself are on, we're like, oh, finally, something we can actually understand. And you know, it's weird because years ago, a long time ago, my dad had terrible allergies. He took needles.
Oh,
For
wow.
years, and it was terrible. Like, it was awful to watch, right? And my dad, phys ed teacher, always a very, athletic guy. And I just knew when it was coming because his allergies were so bad. Then he'd have to have the needles and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not sure which company it was. And this is like the 70s.
Right.
Started taking these supplements, these natural health. He hasn't had any issues, to my knowledge,
Really?
in like 20, 30 years.
And what were his allergies, just out of curiosity?
It was the pollen-based ones. It was ragweed. It was that kind of stuff. And it was, of course, school starts in the fall. So it was very difficult for him.
Yeah.
And just sort of one year, like years later, it just dawned on me, as then now a young adult. And I was like, wait a minute. We had to literally sometimes not be able to go on summer holidays or whatever because of certain.
Oh, really? That's
it was
severe.
bad. Yes, because of these needles. And then he said, well, since I started taking, and again, it was a natural health product, but again, back in the 70s. So it could have, I don't know if it was Jameson's or whatever it would have been back in that time.
Yeah.
So when you talk of some of these issues, and that's why, we get asked all the time, well, you have people on mic, like the first thing you want to know is, do you use them? And I said, well, if it applies, it does. Like Dave uses them, I use them, and my family absolutely loves the products, especially the sleep ones have done wonders. But the joint relief, right? Because a lot of guys who played sports, like Dave and myself, now you get into your 50s, and all of a sudden, for some reason, you feel like the knees aren't that great, the elbow's not that great, that kind of stuff. And I told people, I take it. The shark cartilage is one of the things that. What this company was founded on, and there was a reason for
it,
because the founder was in that age group and saying, okay, well, how are we going to address this? And he came up with these ideas. Dave, what do you use? You use a bunch of them.
Oh, geez, yeah, the cold and flu. I use
good one. Yeah.
The sound sleep is fantastic. Mike mentioned the shark cartilage as well. So it's just, a combination of that. I have my own multivitamin that I take daily and so forth. So, knock on wood, everything's been good so far. And because I've always been conscious of boosting up my immune system where I can, because you try to eat as much of the right things, but you're always missing something, right? And that's where
especially in the summer when we're all out having fun, right? You don't want to deprive yourself, but you want to create that balance. I know I take a lot of Bell products, and just as an herbalist, a lot of herbal products, and allergy relief is, as I was getting ready for the show, I was like, I can benefit from this. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, it's always great to catch with you. Things are good in your life. Everything's awesome for you.
Everything's great. Yeah. I hope you're both really well. Happy it's summer and the sun's shining here. So.
Well, it is. And all what we really try to do is help you maintain that kind of health. And that's why we talk about it. That's why we're pleased that they're not only our title sponsor, but they do great work. They really do. And they're awesome people. So thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. And I'm sure we will catch up with you again sometime, hopefully soon.
I hope so. Have a fantastic day. And thanks you for having us on.
There's Joan Sarro joining us here this morning. Always a pleasure. She does such a great job, but so does the products as well. So once again, that is Allergy Relief. If you're looking for it, and using online or whatever, it's number 24.
24, yeah.
24, if you want to look at it that way. 24 Allergy Relief. It is like 30 capsules. You're going to find it, in a lot of the health stores, but a lot of places. Look for the green bell. Yeah, that bell. The good ones, as we like to say.
Yes.